Good Wednesday, everyone. So nice to see you all. And it's so nice to see how we're back here again. And the only thing different is my hair is so much longer. This is a very special Wednesday evening as we pay tribute to our graduates, the class of 2020. This is a class that we will not need hindsight to tell us that is like no other. And I want to take a moment to share a charge to our graduates during this unique time. In our parsha, perhaps one of the most well-known parts is the two verses memorialized for eternity and familiar to us in our tefillah of Vayihi ben Soa Haaron. The verses tell us, Vayihi ben Soa Haaron Vayomer Moshe, and when the ark would set out, Moshe would say, Kuma Hashem, arise, O Lord, v'yafutzo oivecha, and your enemies should be scattered, v'yanusu misonecha mipanecha, and your foes should flee before you, ubnucha yomar, and when the Aron would finally settle, Shuva Hashem, revivot alfei Yisrael, return, O Lord, you who are Israel's myriad of thousands, who dwells among the Israelites. And perhaps what makes these verses even more famous and even more striking is the way that they are inscribed, set aside in every Torah and every printed Chumash. These two verses are set apart by two inverted nuns, two backwards nuns that actually just dangle in the space before and after them. By a show of hands, how many people have seen these nuns before? And the beauty of Zoom is that I can show you them right now. As you can see them right over here in this Torah scroll, right? You can see the screen. Can someone nod? Thank you, Lee and Cindy. You can see them right over here, backwards, hanging in space between these two faithful verses. These nuns, one before and one after, are kind of out of nowhere, unlike anything else we have in the Torah. They're just there. Known as the nunim ha'afuchim, these inverted nuns, it's a special halacha, a law of scribal tradition, that when writing a Torah, they must be included. These nuns actually give the 85 characters between the two of them special status. For those who have been with us for Mincha Mariv during this long period on Zoom, and who completed the tractate of Mishnah Yadayim, we actually saw that these nuns give a special status to 85 letters of the Torah. But the obvious question is, what are they doing over here? Why are we including anything that is not part of the Torah text, not a verse in the Torah? Why, of all things, do we find these backwards nuns, upside down, floating in the middle of the Torah? One of the interpretations shared is by a Kabbalistic work called the Medrash Ne'elam, the mystical hidden midrash, part of the collection of the Zohar works. The Medrash Ne'elam spends and spares no ink combing the depths of these nuns and comments and extols their incredible significance and role. The Medrash writes, Kivodo shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu mamish, that the glory, the embodiment of God's glory, mamish itself, are found within these nuns. Vehem ikare shel olam, they are the foundations of the created world. Seems incredible for two insignificant letters in our Torah. Uve'elu nunim, and with these nuns, atid HaKadosh Baruch Hu lifroach ihu liYisrael ayedei Mashiach. And through these nuns, through the merit of these backwards letters, one day, God willing soon, God will bring redemption to the world, Mashiach to our people, that these nuns represent the root of the Messiah. And the question is only stronger. What is going on here? Why are these so significant? What makes them so special? And the Medrash Ne'elam continues and explains that if you're going to put anything to separate these two verses, why nuns? Why nuns as opposed to any other letter? And the Medrash suggests that this is connected to a verse at the very end of Bereshit, another famous pasuk in the Torah. As Yaakov blesses his son, he tells Yosef, the Yidu Larov, that they should be fruitful, they should multiply, they should be the teeming multitude, but he should be v'yidu, that they should be like a fish. What the Medrash is playing at here is that the word for fish in Aramaic is nun. Just like in Hebrew, dag is fish. In English, fish is fish. In Aramaic, nun is fish. Evidently, the Medrash is hinting that these verses are not encapsulated by nuns, but by inverted little fish. In fact, upside down fish separate these two verses. And again, this makes this question all the more stronger, all the more stranger, and dare I say, all the more fishy. So striking. What is going on with these upside down nuns? What is their connection to fish? And this is quite a perplexing midrash. Rabbi Dr. Norman Lamb, whose Shloshim continues and whose presence and impact reverberates around the Jewish world that we inhabit, in his signature, or with his signature flair and midrashic exposition, comments on this midrash and suggests the following beautiful idea that I think is so relevant to all of us, and especially our graduates. What makes a fish unique? Ponders Rabbi Lamb. Fine, a fish can swim in water, but there are so many things that also float in water. Why are fish different, better than other things that float in water? Otherly, formerly alive, and currently alive items that float. What makes a fish unique is that the fish has an ability to swim against the current and not just flow in whatever direction the water takes. That the nuns inverted, these upside down fish, personify the ability to swim upstream against the tide and opposite the current. And that, declared Rabbi Lamb, is what is supposed to characterize the Jew and the Jewish people. The ability to go against the tide of contemporary society, of surrounding culture. The authentic Jew must have the ability to go against the crowd, even if it makes her unpopular. The ability to drive upstream, to dare to be different, starts with our forefather, Abraham HaIvri, who from a different perspective from the entire world, Ivri, as the Medrash tells us, the whole world was on one side, and Abraham was on the other side, on the other Ivri, and continues within our DNA until today. That when society is in conflict with Torah values, even though it's the natural thing to do, to want to be part of a greater society, in those circumstances, we must be able to swim upstream and become those nunim ha'afuchim, those inverted nuns. The opposite is true as well. That when the zeitgeist aligns with Torah values, we must pursue our values hand in hand with others, but from a place of our own inner strength and on the foundation of our immortal values. My dear graduates, we celebrate the accomplishment today of all stages and ages. Education you have received gives entry into the true byways and highways of human society, the world of ideas and knowledge. And our role as Jews is to strongly lean in to the beauty and the wisdom, the grace, the depth, the majesty of so many subjects, so many Torah subjects that go by other names: math, literature, science, computers, history, social studies. Did I mention math? We want to be part and contribute to this greater society, but we also need to have the courage and charisma, the capacity to swim upstream in the face of alien or hollow values. As Rabbi Lamb noted, the risk of loneliness, to be different, to be unpopular, is different. And the desire to assimilate is quite normal and natural. But that is not the role of the Jew. The tendency to just flow downstream is easy and attractive. But what the Torah calls of us is to be different, to be true to ourselves, to not just be followers. That these inverted nuns, therefore associated, according to the Midrash, with nothing less than the full splendid glory of God, because true religious distinction comes not when it is easy, but when the going gets tough and our loyalties are tested. When we stand athwart outside culture, to be different, to be true to ourselves against the tide, and sometimes to be alone. This is the blessing that Yaakov gives to his children, to his grandchildren, that we can continue to give to ours. That is not enough to be multiplied, but we need to maintain our distinctiveness, no matter what society we are a part of. That we must maintain a critical stance towards the surrounding society, accept for sure and welcome what is consonant, what is consistent with our Torah, but reject what is not. Confront outside culture, but not capitulate to it. And this perhaps is what the Midrash means, that Mashiach will come on the wings of these nuns, because redemption can come when we are true to ourselves, no matter the circumstance. Vayihi ben so Aaron, the march of Jewish history, the march of Jewish destiny, the journey of every Jew must be characterized by these inverted nuns. Our ability to carry the Aaron and everything it represents is codified and encapsulated in our willingness to swim against the tide and stand against the current. And it is these critical messages of the nun, of these inverted, floppy fish that are found in the middle of our parsha, that is our charge to each one of us today, and to you, our graduates in particular, as you go forth. May you have the courage, the strength, the charisma, and the bracha, and the blessing to be able to be true, to develop, to self-actualize, and be a light for all of us. Mazal tov, and lots of luck.
Mazal tov.
Mazel tov.
Tov, everybody.
Wow.
We'll have an opportunity for more mazel tovs. Everybody is welcome to stay unmuted as long as your telephone doesn't ring or anything else.
Mazal tov, everybody. Oh, what's it? Oh, sorry.
Actually, there's an echo there. You should definitely mute. Good Wednesday, everyone. You know, Rabbi, you steal my line every single week.
We switched
Yeah.
it to August.
It's so good, that's why.
A special good Wednesday to you, Shane and Stu Kessler. And Shane, I give you permission to use that line next week.
Thanks.
Thank you, Rabbi Brander, for your drasha. Once again, we appreciate all that you are doing to keep us connected to Torah and to each other. Baruchu et Hashem hamavorach. I am so happy to report that for the first time in almost 3 months, our community has had the privilege to respond to this call in 3 beautiful and safe Mincha Marav minyans. Baruch Hashem hamavorach le'olam va'ed. These outdoor minyanim succeeded logistically, spiritually, and also as measured by the compliance of the attendees to all the physical distancing rules. This now gives us the confidence to offer these minyans for every weekday service and for Shacharit on Shabbat, starting tomorrow night. You must sign up for one of the limited slots. The minyan will be canceled in case of bad weather. Please carefully read the email that was sent out today if you wish to participate, and please sign up. Also, please understand that no one should feel obligated to come if they are concerned about their health. Thank you so much to Rabbi Brander, Steve Luger, Tali Parat, Carolyn Ganellis, Shane Kessler, and Mark Rifkin for all their continuing work on our phased minyan restart process. By the way, everyone at our minyanim have not only have kept 14 feet apart, but they were also very careful to wear their masks properly. Now, I've seen many creative ways to wear masks, including people who find extra beneficial ways to make use of them. For example, take a look at this.
Yeah, see that.
Okay.
So I am a little bit concerned. That this guy may have missed his stop on the subway. I'm sure all of you are aware this Sunday is the annual membership meeting and election of new officers. The original time was set for 7 o'clock on Sunday, but we're moving it up to 7:30 to accommodate the new Mincha Marav Minyanim. Mazel Tov to Anna and Jeremy Pava on the birth of a granddaughter to Devorah and Harvey Pava. Her name is Rose Bell, really beautiful. Mazel Tov to big brother Oliver, to aunt and uncle Allison and Nate Pava, and aunt and uncle Devorah and Solomon Sultan. Mazel Tov to the entire extended Pava and Deutsch families. Mazel Tov to Sandy and Mark Trencher on the beautiful wedding in Florida this past Monday of their granddaughter, Tali Trencher, to Jesse Salver. I know it was beautiful because Helen and I were able to watch it live on YouTube.
Yeah.
Mazel Tov to parents Shimmy and Stacy and the entire Trencher and Salver families.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. Kiddush.
Mazel Tov to Tali Porat, whose mom, Dr. Shuli Reuben Schwartz, has just become the first female chancellor of the Jewish Theological Seminary. Mazel Tov to the entire Porat family.
Mazel.
Amazing accomplishment.
Absolutely.
A reminder of all the ongoing opportunities. The Rabbi's Lunch and Learn Parsha class on Wednesday at 11:45. Sunday evening Schmooze and Booze with Racheli Jessen. And I'm going to interrupt myself and allow David Rosen to come on and give us a special update on a special edition on Father's Day. David, you want to take over for a minute?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So because of the annual meeting coming up this Sunday, there will be no Schmooze and Booze. That's on June 14th. However, on June 21st at 8:15, we are very pleased to announce that Schmooze and Booze will host the West Hartford premiere of British comedian Ashley Blaker, who will have a live from West Hartford introduction. That'll be at 8:15 on June 21st. You'll see some more information coming around about it, but it is sure to be a lot of fun, and we hope that you all will join in June 21st at 8:15.
Okay, I'll continue with my reminders. There's the Shabbat morning children's group, which is actually on Friday. It's going to continue each week on Fridays at 11:45 a.m. with Becca Maurer. Kiwi Weekly Parsha Exchange tomorrow night after Mariv. There's the Kabbalat Shabbat service, the singing along service. Havdalah with Sam Lightberg and Stu Miller. Every week, Stu tries to get very creative with some new song that he comes up with on his guitar and sometimes his banjo. There's the Young Israel Book Club, and of course, Shabbat on Wednesday. Learn more about all these events on the shul's website. And now, Mazel Tov to all the graduates. Here's one of my favorite graduates, just to set the tone. And I'll turn it over to Shane.
Bias.
I'll turn it over to Shane, who will present the graduate Kiddush. I'm also happy to turn these announcements over to Shane starting next week.
Okay. So we have Mazel Tov to our preschool graduate, Eden Parat from the Mandel JCC. Aiden Oresti, kindergarten graduate from the New England Jewish Academy.
We highlighted.
Avi Goikman from Aiken, 5th grade. Sophie Rifkin from the New England Jewish Academy, 8th grade. Eden Kessler, 8th grade, New England Jewish Academy. Nira Kessler, 8th grade, New England Jewish Academy. Maya Walpa, King Philip Middle School, 8th grade. Then we have a couple of Loew grandchildren here. One who we just saw, Tzipora Einbinder from Or Hadash Academy, 8th grade. And Elon Kovacs, Beth Tefillah in 8th grade. And more, we have a lot of 8th graders. Ariella Goigman, King Philip Middle School, and Yeshaya Bernstein from New England Jewish Academy. That wraps up our 8th graders. Moving on to high school, Asaf Blan. And we have another Loew grandchild near and dear to our hearts, Moshe Loew from MTA, high school graduate. Brian Silberman, New England Jewish Academy, graduating high school, as well as Aaron Snyder from the New England Jewish Academy, graduating high school. And Yafa Warren, graduating Conard High School. And last but not least, Allison Pava, with her master's in occupational therapy from Bay Path University. Mazel tov to everybody.
Mazel tov, mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Oh.
Les, you're muted.
Very special.
Mazel tov to
Perfect,
everyone,
Hassel.
and I was going to give myself a mazel tov and Helen a mazel tov for the wind down of our 2 years as President and First Lady, and how delighted we are to anticipate turning over the reins to Shane and Stu as President and First Man to continue the good work for the shul. Wednesday Shalom and L'chaim, everybody.
Chaim tovim u'shalom.
If anyone, we
Mazel
also
tov.
offer if anyone had questions about the protocols that we put together moving forward for Shabbat and during the week. If you have any questions, you can speak to Les or me or ask them now, whatever you want.
Turn on the video also.
Mazel tov, graduates.
Hey, Rabbi, if I come to Minyan and I bring my children, am I one person or am I 3 people?
You should sign up for your family, each person separate.
So 3.
Yeah.
So Bufo doesn't work for this.
Well, we're just trying, it's a space thing. We might, depending on how many people sign up, then readjust that.
Thank you.
Once again, we have to emphasize that people need to sign up. We need to be sure that we know who's coming for tracking potentially, God forbid, afterwards, but also to make sure that we have
Adequate space.
that everybody is who wants to come can come.
I want to add also, and this should go without saying, men and women are invited to all of our minyanim. All right, that should go without saying, but I'll say it anyways because I think that's not always the case everywhere. Everyone is welcome to our minyanim. We have accommodations for everyone.
Make it, they should let you know so there's room for
Yes, God.
35.
And also, if you can't make it at the last minute and you have signed up, please unsign and
Yeah.
possibly let us know so that if there's a slot that's free, somebody else can take it on.
L'chaim.
I am.
For his 2 years of service.
We can't hear you, Jeremy.
Hear me? My audio is not so good here, but l'chaim to Les.
L'chaim.
Chaim, thank you, Les.
Do it again on Sunday night.
Sounds good.
I might start a movement, Les, to vote you in a second time.
Not an option.
We're still recording. I love that face, Helen.
I heard who said that first.